So I was wondering, in my personal legal research, I have noticed that a lot of appealed cases, when the appellate judge makes a decision or like an opinion, why is it rarely ever published?
Okay, we're back. This is Attorney Vincent Davis. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm on with my co-hosts Amanda Cisco, Brian Hamilton, and Aaron Carranza. We're about to lose Amanda for the evening. Amanda, did you have another question you wanted to ask me?
I did. So I was wondering, in my personal legal research, I have noticed that a lot of appealed cases, when the appellate judge makes a decision or like an opinion, why is it rarely ever published?
Well, there's two types of decisions that can come from the Court of Appeals. One is called a published decision, which the public can use to cite as precedent and authority and as law in your state. The second type is called an unpublished decision. And you know, those are where the appellate judges are just making a decision for that case. They may not consider it persuasive or important enough to make it a published decision, but it's up to the court. Now, in California, they have a system where if you get an unpublished decision, especially in the CPS case, I've seen a lot of attorneys petition the court to make it a published decision. And I've seen some occasions where, you know, a party will make a motion to make it an unpublished decision, right? So it goes both ways, but most cases are unpublished. It's just the way cases are handled, and you know, courts don't publish everything that they do. Well, now one court that does publish everything they do is the United States Supreme Court, the California Supreme Court, probably the Supreme Court in your state. But you know, first level courts of appeals usually don't publish their opinions. I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you, Vince.
Okay, well, thank you for guest hosting the first half of the show this evening. We'll see you Thursday night on the civil rights.
All right. Good night, guys. Good
night. All right, so let's go to our next caller. They've been waiting a while. It's Kay from California. Kay, did you have a story to ask, or story to tell, or a question to ask?
I have a little bit of both. Okay. My grandchildren, well, two of them were taken last year. Then they were returned home for like 6 months. And my daughter was pregnant during that time. So she had my other grandson last year. And an incident occurred over the holidays where all three of them were taken. And they said that I would be the next person to give my grandchildren, and I had to do everything, go to the classes, do the CPR. I stayed up for 2.5 days to get that done. They had cleared me, and then the worker came out and inspected and said everything was good for me to get a baby bed, everything for the baby, the doorknobs, everything, the lock. And I'm sorry, I'm emotional. So I did that. So I haven't seen my grandkids since March of this year, because we had like a supervised visit, and then they took that away. Then I saw my grandkids at my granddaughter's birthday for the first time in months, and that was a couple of weeks ago, and she turned 8 years old. And I wanted to know what I can do now as a grandmother, because they never gave me a letter stating the denial or anything.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Kay. I want to make sure, Kay, that you don't have a radio on that's near you, because I thought I was hearing some reverb.
No, I don't have a radio.
Okay,
no.
So let me tell you, number one, I hope you have a pen and a piece of paper. Number one,
Yes.
you need to speak to an attorney. All right. And you need to speak to an attorney experienced in CPS cases. And these are the things that you want to speak to the attorney about. Number one, filing a 388 petition to have the child placed with you. Number two, filing a JV 285. Number three, filing, if the facts support it, filing a de facto status, at least under Charles S., as a relative. That case says you don't have to take care of the child. A lot of people think in a de facto motion you have to take care of the child at some point in time. Under my humble opinion, that's not true under a case called Charles S. And the next thing that you should consider filing, if the facts support it, is a petition for presumed parent status. Okay. All of those things will get you into the front door of the courthouse or the courtroom. And hopefully, the court may grant you some type of hearing or, mini trial to help prove that the child or children should be placed with you as a relative.
So it won't be too late. It won't be too late, even though they told me that, we're going to do it. We're going to do emergency first. And then they said they were doing a standard. And I waited and waited. Okay, so, I had to call, like, the social worker. They didn't call.
Stop. You notice I didn't say anything about talking to the social worker. Social workers only make recommendations. They don't make decisions. If they make a recommendation or don't do what they said they were going to do, you need to go talk to the judge. And those 4 things that I mentioned to you will get you in front of a judge. Okay? Now, the judge may not decide in your favor, but at least you'll be in front of the judge.
What about guardianship?
You can file a petition for guardianship as well. Legal guardianship, temporary or permanent.
Okay.
But don't do that, the guardianship, and to the exclusion of the other things. Do the other things first.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Did you have another question for me?
No. Well, I'm just not able to really sleep at night because also my grandson, he's the youngest of all 3. He had marks on him and they did nothing. It was reported and they still have them there.
Marks on him like what? Physical abuse?
On his back. He had marks some time ago.
Did you report it to the social worker?
Yes, it was reported and they did nothing.
Did you report it in writing?
Yes, my daughter reported it. She recorded it. She videotaped it. Her parent coach saw it. She recorded it. They did nothing. They're still there with the foster mother.
Okay, listen to my question, okay? Did she or did you report it in writing?
Yes.
Email to the social worker?
Yes.
To the social worker's supervisor? Okay, I can only talk to one person at one time. Okay, make sure that's done. And in California, there's something called community care licensing, which are state social workers that take care of and supervise foster parents. So you also may want to make the report to community care licensing. And if you want to know how to get in touch with them for your area, you just Google California Community Care Licensing.
Yeah, I've done that. I went to the ombudsman. I went to state licensing. I went to the mayor. Like, I went to everyone.
Okay, well, the mayor's not going to have anything to do with it. I don't recommend people going to the ombudsman. So the procedure that I just gave your mother is what I think you should implement immediately.
2 minutes.
And you'll probably need to do this with the help of your attorney. So you'll need to speak to your attorney and strategize with your attorney to do this. Or your mother's going to have to get an attorney to help her file these motions and petitions. Ladies, does that make sense?
Yes.
Grandma, does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so first of all, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for waiting. I saw that you had been waiting quite a while. Do me a favor. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update to let us know where you are and what's going on, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Aaron, you know, I'm watching your light. I just realized something. Your light changes colors. Your
It
backlight.
does.
If you guys want to
It's like
go onto Facebook
Got it.
to one of our pages and take a look at Aaron's light to change her backlight. Erin has a backlight because she's been watching videos on how to improve her live stream. Backlights are very important. Anyway, I guess we're going to have to take a break now. We're at the top of the hour. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and When. We'll be back with more stories and more questions right after these messages.